Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome back to the Fever Pitch Podcast. I'm your co-host Brian.
Oh, Dan, how you doing?
Doing good. We had a great weekend of football, a great week of sports. We got a lot to cover, man. Let's just hop straight into it.
All
Talk to me
right.
about the Ravens versus Texans, man.
Oh my, oh my. First of all, it was good to see the Ravens back on TV, man. That wild card weekend was a trick, but it was good to see the one seed in action, and they surely delivered. Um, a calm first half, but that second half they really turned it on. CJ Stroud, he's a rookie, and I feel like this was a good experience. The second time facing the Ravens this season. I believe they faced off in week one, correct?
Yeah.
And then they turned around and faced them again in the divisional round. I was impressed. It was definitely a matter of experience being the biggest factor in the matchup. Coach Ryan's and the Texans offense and defense, it's a good mix of vets and young players, but that playoff experience is not much there. And there were a lot of pre-snap penalties that kind of killed drives, stalled the momentum out, especially when you're on the road and that atmosphere for a rookie QB is tough to overcome. And really, once again, the Ravens special teams kind of set the tone. I think it wasn't Duvernay. I can't remember who returned the kick for Houston, but Houston got the punt return. But then after that, it's like all that energy just went straight to Baltimore. They kind of hit the ground running. Lamar had a master cross through the air and using his feet as well, and they were able to seal the deal and get the W.
Yeah. The person who returned the ball was Steven Sims Jr.
Stevenson is former commander. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, this game was something special. The first half, I wasn't sure how it was looking. I was confident the Ravens were going to get it done. But when it was 10-10 entering the half, you could definitely tell that there was definitely an atmosphere around the Ravens offense, like what's going on. The defense was locked in, they were focused. They really held the Texans to just 3 points, and then you had those 7 points from special teams. So
Mm-hmm.
there was no touchdown scored by the Texans, who were looking red hot last week against the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Getting touchdowns from Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, and Devin Singletary all over. I think even Brevin Jordan had one last week too.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So when I was looking at this game, a lot of people didn't really account for the atmosphere of Baltimore, that home crowd of the Ravens, and it's truly a special one. You could literally hear it through the TV,
Fast.
and you could see with all the false starts and stuff that the players are talking about. I can't hear,
Right.
and I think that was definitely a contributing factor. I think all during this game they had a lot of penalties. What do they have? 11 penalties for 70 yards.
Hmm.
Um, and just overall, when you're looking at this game, they I don't think the Texans performed poorly. I think they were just out schemed and outplayed because of what you were talking about, experience. And
Right.
overall, they didn't have that X factor. They didn't have Lamar. They didn't have Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, Mike McDonald, Todd Monken, right? And an explosive O line that you could what they rushed 229 yards. They were getting it
Yep.
done back there.
Mm-hmm. 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, 5.5 yards per total.
Yep, with 100 yards coming from Lamar off of design runs and scrambles.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think the big thing about this game was Lamar was showing that he could still run. Throughout the season, people didn't really see Lamar run like that, and they thought probably in the back of their head, "Oh, maybe we don't really have to respect the run like that." No,
Mm-hmm.
you do, and if you blitz and overcommit, he's gonna run past you. He's gonna get to the end zone.
Right.
What was the most profound thing that you saw about this game?
I just think they hit a switch in that third quarter, late third quarter, top of that fourth quarter. It just felt like an entirely different game. And I was talking to the homies about this, and it's like Lamar's getting real comfortable in the pocket nowadays, and he's scrambling out of necessity, but not necessarily first read not there. Let me just take off. He's going through his progressions. He's even looking back to see if his first read gets open, and he has that internal clock. It's like, okay, I got about 3.5 seconds to get out the pocket. If I don't see anything, take off. And he was able to really show his dual threat capability, getting the ball to his receivers accurately and making plays with his feet as well.
Absolutely. What do you think about Mark Andrews returning this upcoming week?
See, I heard about that. I feel like you just adding another wrinkle to that offense. Arguably a top four, top three tight end when healthy, one playing, and you saw Isaiah Likely take a big step up in his absence. Now you get your Thunder and Lightning in the run game and in the pass game because Mark Andrews is a pretty solid blocker as well. You take the load off of Isaiah Likely. The Chiefs defense, I know, was very much spoken for, but they're gonna have to. That's another X factor you have to account for, and I'm sure it'll be to the benefit of the Ravens.
Mhm. Absolutely. Definitely when you look at this game, I know a lot of people were worried about the Ravens being rusty, especially this being their second one seed since 2019 when they had that divisional round exit against the Texans.
Correct.
But
Titans.
Titans. Yeah. But even as I was looking at it in all, like when you were looking at the performance during this game, there were no fumbles, no interceptions. And the Ravens were purely just getting after it. They had 22 first downs to the Texans 10.
Mm.
Um, yeah, what do you think was the biggest difference between these two
I,
teams?
would, I would say experience and just Lamar's locked in, man. And I feel like losing again in the divisional round. All the naysayers would have been speaking very much had they taken the L at home again against another AFC South opponent. So the narratives against Lamar would have been right there, just getting cooked up, and he stepped into that ghost kitchen to handle business. So it is what it is
Absolutely. Two passing touchdowns and two rushing touchdowns. He was definitely getting it done.
for sure.
All right, let's talk about this Packers 49ers game. Talk to me.
I was thoroughly impressed until the fourth quarter.
Mm,
Um, Jordan Love played pretty well until the fourth quarter. Brock Purdy did what he had to do, and a little bit more than what he had to do, if you ask me. I know the narrative on Brock Purdy is last pick of the draft, game manager. I'm not moved. Even me personally, I still think he's not what people think he is, but he can play. You can't deny his ability to play football. And coupling that this Kyle Shanahan offense, not the biggest advocate for Kyle Shanahan, but I had to acknowledge he finds ways to get it done. And San Francisco getting it done all year. Christian McCaffrey, special. I mean, what else do you want me to say? He's the best running back in the NFC.
that is
And
true.
he's showing it time and time again. Handle business on the ground. Brandon Ayuk was cooking despite the looks from the Packers defense, who was coming into this game kind of on the upswing. They had a stellar showing against Dallas, but now against San Fran, they kind of held them in check up until the last few moments of the game where they kind of found that spark the San Fran did and got the rushing TD with CMC.
Mm,
So, like I said, with all those weapons on in that offense, it's hard to really keep all of them in check. It's like basketball. It's like when you got all these hoopers that can get you 30 at any moment. It's like, okay, you shut him down, my man right here might get 30. You shut him down, my man right here might get 30. In this case, it's like you got CMC in the backfield, you got Kittle at tight end, you got Brandon, you got wide, you got Debo out wide. And then all the other utility pieces around still can get it done because you're keying on all those X factors. Your role players still get opportunities to shine. We saw Chris Conley, I think it was a fourth or fifth rounder. He's been there. He was a Jag and he played for a few other teams. Chris Conley had an impact on the game. Jawan Jennings had an impact on the game, amongst other players besides the usual suspects. And then on defense, oh man, Nick Bosa, Nick Bosa was giving Jordan Love headaches, especially on that final interception. That pass rush really got there, and it was a good night I ran from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention the two picks from Drake Greenlaw. Fred Warner was over there. Like,
Right.
6 tackles, 1 assisted. So he was definitely putting in pressure right there. Talk to me about this missed field goal to tie the game.
Anders Carlson or
Yeah,
Anders,
yeah.
Andrew,
Big 17.
not Devontae. Ironically enough, his older brother, Daniel Carlson, is teammates with Devontae Adams. And unfortunately, little bro probably let big bro down because he missed the potential game time field goal, which was the nail in the coffin at that point. He hit two on the game and he missed that third. I'm sure he was shooketh. He's a rookie, drafted in the 6th round. So it was definitely a high pressure situation. His two mates were inside at 30 yards with I think it was a 46, 47 yarder. He
Mhm.
ended up missing. It happens. I'm sure he was getting a lot of heat for it, but like Unc always says, I won't accept anything in the win. I wouldn't accept the loss. Had they won the game, all would have been forgiven. If Jordan Love had a game winning drive, that missed field goal would have been a memory. But unfortunately, you gotta look at what didn't happen when you see what did, and unfortunately, those 3 points made a difference for sure.
Yeah. Additionally, outside of those 3 points, there was a time, I believe it was in the first half when they were in the red zone early and they went for it on fourth down. I think it was like 4th and 5 or 4th and 6 or something. It was like 4th and goal though. And instead of going for three, and they were unsuccessful. If they had two opportunities, right? If they had went for that three, that's an easy chip shot, like
Right,
within 20
right,
yards.
right.
And then that would have nullified this Anders Carlson kick as
Mm-hmm.
well. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So do you attribute that to more of a coaching error? Or do you think it was like a right decision to go for it on fourth down?
Let me see. So you considering the fact that everybody is very high on Jordan Love, and naturally, when the game is on the line, you put the ball in the hands of your guys, Aaron Jones, Jordan Love, Romeo Dobbs.
But it was the first half. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but even still, it's like you gotta set the tone. You're on the road. I'm sure you want to play it safe. It was blocked, so it definitely could have went in, but you're inside the third. Oh, no, that was Jake Moody. Pardon me. Uh,
No, I'm saying they went for
Carlson.
it on fourth down instead of taking a field goal.
Oh, instead of taking a field goal.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, hey, you 7 is always better than 3. So they believe that. I won't lie to you. They look good. Leading up to that fourth down, they didn't look too bad. A couple of penalties here and there, but one missed throw, one catch, and maybe it's a 4th and 1 versus, you know what I'm saying? So they look good. Unfortunately, San Fran's defense is San Fran's defense.
Mhm.
And when you're in those trenches, it gets dark. They went with a QB sneak. First of all, they no huddle, and then went for a QB sneak. I thought that was dumb. But going for it in general, I mean, I can't fault you for it, but
Mm.
that was not the D line to try that with. But at the same time, had it worked, we would be having a whole nother conversation right now.
I mean, if a couple of other things worked this past weekend, maybe we'd have a different comeback player of the year. But that we'll
Eh,
talk about that later. But my big thing is like in a situation where because at that time it was either 3-3, I think it was 6-7.
It
It was
was
either 3-7 or six
it,
to seven.
it was 3-0. They scored on the following drive. San Fran that did. So Green Bay was
San
up
Fran.
3. Green Bay was up 3 before that stop. And after that stop, they scored. So it was 7-3 after they got the ball
So
back.
they could have been up 6-0. And
6-0. Yep.
then that would have put you 1 point away.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would have set the tone in a different way for the game because you're already up.
Right.
Take the points.
Yeah.
I know what's it called? There's also a philosophy where it's like if you're down by 14 going into half and you score a touchdown, you should go for two. And then if like you had deferred the kick on the first play, on the first drive, you should also go for two also. Because
Yeah.
it's like if you go for two twice, if one of them doesn't work, oh well. If both of them work, great.
Yeah. But you also got to realize these are grown men. And you think
But yeah,
another grown man should gonna let you walk into the end zone twice?
hey,
That's a very ballsy thought, man. It's like I'm gonna take my points.
that's fair. That's fair. But I think the math says go for two twice in that
Yes,
situation.
yes. I don't know who did the study, but yes, there is a study saying that it's like when you're down, you might as well go for two, at least go for two the first time. Because if
Mhm,
you don't get it, you're gonna have to do it the second time anyway. So
mhm.
naturally, you might as well.
Yeah, and then it puts you in a situation to be up one or two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in this game, I believe Debo Samuel suffered an injury.
Oh, he didn't
There's
play in this game.
he did. He got
Debo,
hurt. Yeah,
he did.
yeah. He had two catches, but he got hurt.
Oh, he
Yep.
got hurt during the game. I thought he didn't play at all.
See what I'm saying? So it looks like his status for the NFC Championship is in question, which to me, oh no, as of 21 minutes ago, he will play. So
I mean, you
never
gotta
mind.
play. It's the I feel like you gotta play. It's the NFC Championship.
Yep,
Like,
it was a shoulder injury. I don't know the severity of it, but we'll see him on Sunday. So
like you gotta play in that situation. Like, torn pec, broken shoulder. If as long as you can walk, as long as you can run, and your hands are working, you gotta play. You're Debo.
fair enough.
Like even your presence on the field, it changes things.
Fair enough.
And
I
definitely against the Lions, that type of pressure will be needed because I know the 49ers are favored coming into the game next week, but I think the Lions have a bit more momentum going into this game.
Yeah, I mean they were a 10.5 point favorite against Green Bay and they only won by 3. So
Yeah.
one or two things go Jordan Love's way. Maybe they get a turnover on Purdy. We'd be having a whole nother conversation right now.
Do you think the 49ers have been as impressive as they were expected to be in this postseason?
Um, I guess you gotta remember this is the last pick in the draft, and he's surrounded with everything you need to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I would it's tough because it's like you still gotta make plays, and he's making a lot of plays. I will tip my cap there. Brock Purdy has been really getting it done. There's nothing wrong with being a game manager if you know that you're a game manager because you still have to game manage well, and
Yeah.
he has been. So I had to give him credit there. But at the same time, I really think a stop here, a stop there. You know, Jordan Love doesn't play defense, so you know what I'm saying. You kind of need your defense to get you one or two more stops, and you could be having a whole nother conversation right now.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That is true. Absolutely. It's those are the situations that will really define what will be a Brock Purdy. And I think that's what's going to be their big challenge next week because you got the one versus the two,
Yeah,
you know.
back to back NFC championships, potentially a Super Bowl berth in your first year in your first year as a full time starter,
Yeah.
as the last pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah. All respect to Brock Purdy. Um, what do you make of the Packers in this situation? What do you and how do you think they'll fare in the future?
The future is bright. They need a few. They might need to go sign a wide receiver. They're
Mm,
very young, so the future is definitely. They have a core, and excuse me, they have a core, and Jordan Love has already shown that, given he won a playoff game in his first year as a full time starter, a road playoff game, and he was 3 points away from being in the NFC Championship. So the upside is there. The team is young. There are pieces that you can build around. I wonder if they keep Aaron Jones. He's a little bit older, but he was really balling out this year. And mind you, the best thing you can give a rookie or a young quarterback is a 4 to 5 run game. And throughout the playoffs, we saw that with Aaron Jones. So I think they're in a good spot. They're in a good spot. They found their footing late, but they beat Kansas City. They beat Detroit. So they're very much capable.
absolutely, they're definitely very much capable. And to mention, you mentioned Aaron Jones. He had 18 carries for 108 yards. He was balling out this game.
Absolutely. 6 yards of tote. And he also had a couple of catches as well. So
Yeah.
you gotta respect it.
What do you think about the way Romeo Dobbs has been playing throughout the playoffs? You think this will continue into next season? You think
I
he could be
hope so.
a fantasy favorite?
I hope so. I'm like, dog, a couple to like, yeah, bro. Like, if we could just get some good targets, get some catches, I'm gonna be in a good spot. So I hope so.
Is he on
I
your
hope the
legacy
best.
team?
He is, the best is yet to come. I hope, because dang, bro, could have used that in the championship, man. Could have used that.
Yeah, Romeo Dobbs is definitely a special one, and definitely look out for Jaden Reed as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But let's talk about this Chiefs Bills game. Talk to me.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. It was it was a great game. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a great game. Very much a back and forth. No turnovers by Mahomes or Josh Allen.
Hmm.
He only threw for 186 yards, which is interesting. But he rushed for 72 and he got 2 TDs. So I will say the Bills and the Chiefs played as good as you can play with the game on the line. Except I don't understand why when the game is on the line, these kickers, I don't know, man, Tyler Bass. I think he got cold feet. It's Buffalo. It's cold in Buffalo. He might have had some cold feet. He probably got the early access to Benny's album. Shout out to Benny. And maybe he was like had that music playing in his head, and he just couldn't focus. But unfortunately, he shanked one, which could have tied the game. And if you get a stop, that could have been, could have turned things around. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? It's fourth and three, 4th and 2. And you think, we're gonna punt this ball, play some defense, get back on offense. And they call it fake. They call it fake punt
So who they called it to?
to uh they call it fake punt to Damar Hamlin. Um
Damar Hamlin. What
Damar
position?
Ham
What position does Damar Hamlin play?
Damar Hamlin is a rotational safety. I believe he's a free safety. So that's defense, coverage. So you gave the ball and a crucial fourth down to a safety that doesn't do what you needed him to do. He came close. I think it was 4th or 4. He got 2 yards.
That's not
And
close. It was fourth. It was 4th and 5.
it's 4th and 5. On top of that, it would have been a 3 and out. So they went Josh out. Josh out had an 8 yard rush. James Cook was tackled for a loss, and then Josh Allen missed Diggs. No, I didn't miss Diggs. Karl-Anthony hit the pass. So it's 4th and 5. You clearly see that the Chiefs defense is handling, and you're already down at this point. You think, gee, You know what we should do? Fake punt to the guy who has gotten no PT all year.
So why do you think they did that?
A few reasons. I think you have to record a stat to be eligible for comeback player of the year. I think had they won the game, they would have been able to champion DeMar. I think they were trying to take some of the heat off of Diet Carson Wentz. I think I think Sean McDermott just put the circle in the square hole on right there. It's like I don't know whose idea that was. And like I tried to find justification. I tried to find reasoning. I think even the punt team was like, "Oh, we're faking it." I think there was a call at the line like, "Yeah, we're faking it." It's like, "Oh, we're faking it." I was like, "Oh, well, let's fake it." And sure enough, I don't know why they thought that was the call, but I'm glad they stopped that foolishness. Respectfully, disrespectfully.
Do you think this would be the narrative if they got it?
Of course, game on the line. Let me chill. But
No, say
yeah,
it. Speak your
yeah,
mind.
I'm just saying. No. Let me chill. Because you know what's really crazy? So
What?
Travis Kelsey scored the TD. Like I think right before that, and he threw out the heart. I was like, yo, that's ill. Sure enough, you know what I'm saying? And they won the game. Almost like they're like, yeah, that hurts for Travis Kelsey. I mean for Taylor Swift. I don't think so. I think he was trolling,
He
if
was
you ask
definitely
me.
trolling, but he wasn't trying to get fined.
Yeah. So like that was ill. I thought that was hilarious. But still, I mean, inside 4th and 5 inside your 30 and you fake punted to DeMar Hamlin. Game on the line. I will say though, they did get a stop. They forced a fumble. They forced a fumble on McCall Hartman, who didn't get any touches before that. I don't know why like teams are doing what
Also,
teams
yeah,
are
what do you think about that call? You have Isaiah Pacheco,
who
probably
just broke a 30 piece.
probably the angriest runner on your team, and you also have Clyde Edwards Hilaire.
Yep. Pacheco just broke a 30 piece on first down, and you're like, you know what? Let's give it to McCole Hartman.
Why would you give the ball to Nicole Hardman in that situation? What do you think Andy
It's
Reid was thinking?
Andy Reid. I love Andy Reid. I think he's a great coach, but sometimes he be getting too cute. Like in the Raiders game, he be doing foolishness. Last year against they played somebody last year. Just when you like doing like all these backyard tricks at the line, it's cool, bro. But like, yo, Rocky didn't win the game. I can win the game, bro. Because like,
That's
yeah, and because the Bills are. I'm sorry, bro, but the Bills are just not something's not right up here. So they get the stop, and then it's like, you know what? 3 and out. This time we're gonna punt. Like, and I mean, it worked out because they stopped the Chiefs again, and then Tyler Bass shanked the gimme. That was a tied the game up. So unfortunately, here we are. I also think they need to free my man Steph, bro. They got a free Steph. I don't know what's going on, but my man 14, that's not 20. We got the same birthday. We went to the same school. Like y'all doing them foul. They fired Ken Dorsey and this new offensive coordinator. I forgot his name. He's just not using my man Steph properly.
they
And
had him lining up in the backfield.
like, come on,
And
yo.
why would you ever have Stephon Diggs not going and getting a deep ball or hitting some type of intricate route? That's your star player. He
Here's the
pays the bills.
here's the foul part, right? So Josh Allen threw a effort Steph is down there somewhere, right? On that and missed him. And then like 3 plays later, Diggs ran a drag. There was not a soul around him, and Josh Allen tracked into Khalil Shakir. I like Khalil Shakir. I have him in Dynasty. I think he has some upside. But you got Steph underneath. Not a soul is there. I'm gonna go to Khalil Shakir 80 yards away.
Stephon Diggs, Stats for this game were 3 receptions, 21 yards.
I need to find the picture, bro. I need to find the picture. This picture, like, I don't think you like, bro. Not a soul was there, yo. The closest defender there was me, and I was at home. Like, oh my, bro, he's underneath.
Funny enough, Khalil Shakir had the most receptions.
Shout out to my guy, but Steph should be doing all the work. I it's possible Trump is definitely all pro corner. Might have had him in a lockup, but even
He
still,
didn't. He didn't. So he was open. Diggs was open.
even still, get my man the ball, yo. It's like I just don't understand.
Yeah. And is this the last year of his contract?
If it's not the last year, it might be. He might have one more left. I
Bad Boys
mean,
requested a trade.
a lot of people are suggesting he's fine. Well, not fine, but like he wants to stay in Buffalo. But like, I think I don't know, man.
Tell him
I
come to
don't know.
Baltimore. We'll take him.
I don't know, man.
We'll take him. We'll trade him like Devin Duvernay or something.
Oh, you're not serious. But yeah, Josh Allen threw it when they play hero ball, and he threw a hallelujah to Khalil Shakir in the end zone. Missed them.
Mm.
Let me share my screen. So you can just see mind you, it's second down, bro. And I
Mm.
see that the pressure got there and everything, but bro, it's second down, bro. Look at this. Wait, can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, look at this.
Ah, nobody.
The closest defender there is me.
Yeah, he probably could have thrown that like a second or two before he got hit too.
And here's the thing, it's like, okay, you're gonna hit, you're still gonna chuck it. Even if you're gonna hit, wouldn't it make sense to go underneath?
Yeah, especially on 2nd and 9 on your where are they at the 20
30,
31.
20,
Yeah, 30.
30, 31, 32, 30, like yeah, like
Oh,
30.
they're inside the 30. They're at like
Yeah,
26.
they're inside the 30.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I was like, y'all don't deserve to win this game, and I'm very grateful they didn't.
I
They just
think
had 8 targets and 21 yards.
I
He had
think
3 catches.
I think Josh Allen plays hero ball too much sometimes. I
Yeah.
think they do give him the free reign to do that, but there's times where he should definitely dial it back, and you should leverage the other talented people on your team. We get it. You can run the ball, you can run people over, right? But at the end of the day, you have talent out there that you can be getting the ball to. You get the ball to Kincaid, but there should be no reason Stephon Diggs has 21 yards on 3 receptions. You just have him out there running a track meet. It doesn't make sense.
I think under Joe Brady, Stephon Diggs is not going to be able to thrive. And
Mm,
when Ken Dorsey was fired, everything kind of went to poop for Steph.
mm.
I'll give you some numbers here. With Ken Dorsey, 10 games, he had 67 catches, 868 yards, 7 TDs, 10 targets a game, 87 yards per game. In 6 games under Joe Brady, 27 catches, 228 yards, 1 TD,
Mm.
38 yards per game, 8 targets per game.
That's a significant drop off.
The snap count is dropping. And I'm just like, why? Why?
It's unfortunate. But right now, if you were to take people to build a team around, would you rather build a team around Dak Prescott or Josh Allen?
Dak is cheaper, so I can put more pieces around him. So give me Dak.
For real?
Dak is cheaper, so I can put more pieces
Is
around him. So give
is
me Dak.
is Dak cheaper?
Yeah, Dak is cheaper, so I can put more around him.
How much is Dak?
If I'm building a team,
Well,
if I'm putting a team together,
who would you want to be your starting QB right now? That's what I'm saying.
well, Josh Allen's a crash dummy. So it's like, I don't really know. I've seen Carson Wentz with my own two eyes, and Josh Allen is not that much different.
Mm.
But at the same time, I'll take I won't take Carson. I won't take Carson Wentz over Dak, but I'll take Josh Allen over Dak.
You'll take Josh Allen over Dak. Okay. Okay, that's valid.
He might be a crash dummy, but when he can lock in, he'll win you more games than he'll lose you.
Mm. Do you think this affects Josh Allen's legacy? I think he's lost to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs like 4 times or something.
Yeah, you're just gonna be right here under the wing. And don't let Bro get back to AFC Championship next year, because
I don't think Burrow's coming back.
under the wing, man. And I mean, if you ask me, the QB landscape is Mahomes, one, Lamar, two. I have a list. I have a list. Hold on, let me pull up my list
All right.
because I was talking to the homies about this throughout this week. Some of it may be biased, but I think it's very fair, in my opinion.
Okay.
Um, it's a combination of two things. It's like, the esteemed vets like Rogers and what have you. There's still Rogers, but I'm really more focused on who would I rather anchor my franchise around.
Hmm.
If I had the option to take one of these guys, it would go in the order of as soon as I could find it.
I think Stroud is top 10 in the league right now.
I think you're not wrong. Shout out to my guy CJ, man, the Almighty Seven, and we here.
And Jordan Love.
We'll get there. But yeah, so in the order, I have Patrick Mahomes at one, I have Lamar at two, I have Josh Allen at three, based off his oh, based off his resume and the expectation that he's fully healthy, putting Aaron Rodgers at four, putting Stafford at five.
Really?
Then there's a bit of a gap. I put Stroud at six, Burrow at seven, and then there's a little bit of a gap again. That guy in LA, he's eight. And
That guy
then
in LA.
that guy in LA, he's eight. Um,
You already said Stafford, didn't you?
no, the other guy in LA.
Oh, you got
Yeah,
Herbert in your top
yeah,
10?
yeah. He's eight. And then behind that guy, I got Dak, Jordan Love, and Trevor Lawrence.
Speaking of the Chargers, what did you think about the Jim Harbaugh signing?
I think it's fire. That's it. That's all I got for you.
Okay. What do you think will come of it?
Hopefully success. Um, they're saying that Jim is gonna be the acting OC. So
Mm.
hopefully, well, at least for now. I don't know if he's gonna hire somebody, but when I was talking to the homies, I was like, who's the OC gonna be? I was like, if you have Jim, you don't really need an OC. So this is definitely a benefit for that guy, and hopefully they can get around the financials, because Keenan is overpaid, Joey Bosa might not be 100%, Derwin James. There's a lot of money you got to move around. So I'm giving them 2 or 3 years to lock in and fix stuff, and then in 2 or 3 years I'll speak on uh number 10 in LA. Until then, no words.
Okay, that's fair. What else about this game? What do you think about Mahomes' performance in this game? For a little bit, it seemed like they were starting off slow, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 driving down the field in like under 2 minutes, scoring on like 3 or 4 straight drives,
I think
3 straight
kind
drives.
of a kind of like Jim Harbaugh needing the OC. Matt Nagy sucks. He's not good.
Why
Like,
do you say
he
that?
cannot call play. I've seen Matt Nagy in Chicago. He's not good. Thankfully, Andy Reid is there. So it's like all you really gotta do is listen to Andy Reid. And obviously Andy and Pat have a great relationship. So thankfully there's enough chemistry there. Obviously, we won two Super Bowls, potentially a third. We'll see. So yeah, if I got Andy Reid, Matt Nagy's just there to hold the clipboard. And Patrick Mahomes is more than capable of reading defenses and making plays. and that's exactly what he did.
I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw something saying that like Patrick Mahomes saved Andy Reid's job.
You could argue that because the Eagles let him go. Chip Kelly took over. The Eagles had some success. Let Chip Kelly go. Brought in Dougie P. Won a ring. Went to another bowl. Well, I mean, they lost the Chiefs, but the Eagles have had a decent amount of success. And when Andy Reid went to Kansas City, he was expected to turn that franchise around. So they traded that to get Mr. Head and Shoulders, and the rest is history. But if
Mr.
he
Head
didn't hit, yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
But if it didn't hit, I mean, hey, same thing with John Harbaugh. If LJ didn't hit, streets were saying he was out the door.
oh yeah. We didn't been to
So
the playoffs in like 4 years.
yeah, so all's well that ends well. That might be a little narrative in this AFC Championship, but we'll talk about that in just a few.
Absolutely. Talk to me about the Lions versus Buccaneers.
Jerry Goff does Jerry Goff things. You just gotta hope he does the right thing and not sell you the game. But every now and then he will, but he didn't in this matchup against Tampa Bay. I
Hmm.
think battle of two QBs that both went number one overall. I think 1 year apart, maybe 2 years apart. And they were both dealt away, ref for filth, and kind of cast it out as not being those guys. But surely enough, this was a 12-round boxing match, and the Bucks had knocked down the fourth quarter. That's all that really happened. It was literally a stalemate until the fourth quarter. Baker will Baker and turn the ball over a few times, which he did. But when you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and
Six
Rashad,
five Mike Evans.
yeah, yeah, and
I
that's
didn't realize, guys. I didn't realize until a few like during the game that Mike Evans was 6'5". I was like, yo, why does he look so much bigger than the corner? What's going on?
yeah, Mike
I
Evans
looked
is
it up.
Mike Evans is just boy grouper with tattoos and
He's
that can
like
run routes.
he's like the Florida Megatron.
Mm. In a way, in a way, I'm sure he idolizes and mimics his style in some capacity. So maybe he was a little motivated. It's like, hey, I went to Texas A&M. Calvin went to Georgia Tech. Agriculture, technology. It's a reach, but it's there.
I
Regardless,
see what you're going
you
for.
know what I'm saying? So there's a little bit of overlap. I was like a top 15 pick. Calvin Johnson was like a top 10 pick. So Mike Evans might a top 10 pick as well. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it's like there's definitely some level of Calvin Johnson and Mike Evans.
Mm,
Not to a point where he's in two or three DBs lined up on him off a jump. He's not there yet, but
mm.
I mean, it's not consistently. But yeah, he can change the game. I feel like he doesn't get a lot of praise because he wasn't really getting much playoff success. If you take away that Super Bowl run with Brady, it's like you don't really got that much playoff success. So I think he kind of gets thrown to the wayside when you talk about like greatest wide receivers of all time. But when you have, I think it was like 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons, you can't deny talent. But going back to Detroit, my man JG Riff, man, Jared Goff, man, handling business again, man. No turnovers this time, might add.
Yep.
So played a clean game and got the job done.
Do you think the Lions won this game or the Buccaneers beat themselves?
I think the Lions won. Like I said, it was a dogfight through all four quarters. Uh, I think the Bucks run defense got tired towards the end. I'll say that because Monty was contained for the bulk of the game. Gibbs got it in though for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
Monty was contained. Monty is your power back. But when you have that speed and power combination with Gibbs and Monty, it's hard to come. It's hard to stop. And Laporta had 9 catches for 65 yards, and the sun god Amon Ra had 8 for 77. I'm not gonna lie to you. At one point, I thought this game was gonna go into overtime, but Tampa's defense, I mean Detroit's defense, pardon me, got the pick on Baker, sealed the deal.
And then there was another missed kick in this game from Chase McLaughlin.
Yeah, there was a lot of missed kicks across a divisional weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It was very concerning, but hey,
Do you think there was anything the Buccaneers could have did to win this game?
uh, control the run. I mean, they did for a good portion of it. They did, but towards the end, Jameer Gibbs was just gashing them, and it's hard to really stop Sam Laporta, but try harder. You have Levante David who had 13 tackles and 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. He had
Mm-hmm.
no pass deflections. And the other linebacker, where is Mr. Barrett? Shaq Barrett. All Shaq Barrett had was 1 QE hit. And Devin White. This is why Warren Sapp was getting on Devin White for being lazy and trash.
Wait,
He has a
wait, explain that. Talk to me.
So this is like maybe a year and a half ago. Devin White was like having contract disputes, and Warren Sapp, Bucks legend. I think he went to the U Super Bowl champion. Oh, it wasn't even that long ago. It was in October and again in this year, last October 22, and again in November of last year. Warren Sapp pulled up the film and it was just like, yeah, Devin White doesn't put in any effort. He doesn't really do what he has to do. He's not attacking. He's being lazy. And yeah, I think he's being lazy.
Mm.
He said, I don't know if he's still the captain, but he said, I asked that C off your chest, the captain badge, because you're not putting in the effort.
He only had one assisted tackle this game.
Your captain out here just gonna make it 1 tackle. Your
Maybe he had some
captain.
pressures. I don't know. That's not shown here, but maybe.
Even going back to week 9 when they played when they played Houston, Morris Sapp got on again. He said if he played, he said that's the NFL is unsoft. So it's like the fact that you're a linebacker, you're meant to set the tone, bring the energy, bring the mayhem. And the Bucks defense, I don't know if you're familiar with Simeon Rice and Warren Sapp and most others, John Lynch. They used to be like really laying people out. So, and they won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Devin White won the ring because of Brady, but it's like a lot of the pieces from the Super Bowl team are still there. So the expectation shouldn't change.
Mm.
But the effort has.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially when you look at this game, do you think overall the Buccaneers should move off of some of these players? Do you think it's time to move on?
That's been talked about. And I don't know, man, because it's like, Levante David, I know he's getting up there in age, but he's still a very good linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So Devin White as your 2, I mean, obviously they're not the Ravens with PQ and Rowe. That's that or San Fran with like Greenlaw and Fred, but those two, the Detroit low-key got a good linebacking core too with Fox and Campbell, but Devin White and Levante David, it's like that's a very good duo.
Yeah.
So if you could build your defense around them long term, you'll be okay. They went 9-8 this year. So obviously there's ability to perform still. And I think only time will tell, honestly. I
Yeah.
think, they just lost their OC. Dave Canales is now the head coach for Carolina, but he seems to be able to kind of reshape these long time gone but not forgotten vets. Before his time at Tampa Bay, he was in Seattle with Geno Smith, and you saw how Geno Smith was able to revitalize his career. And we saw the same thing with Baker now. I guess they're trying to do this with Bryce, but hey, we shall see.
Yeah. One thing you definitely said with Baker Mayfield is the Buccaneers definitely have their QB for the future. I think he's definitely secured that job, and I would be very surprised if he doesn't get that nice contract this offseason.
Yeah,
Very
probably get
surprised.
you'll probably get a Geno Smith deal himself, like a 3 year, 100 million, something like that.
Yeah, most definitely. And yeah, definitely shout out to Jared Goff and the Lions. I'm definitely happy to see the Lions make this evolution. And the biggest thing that's not measured here is their grit and intensity from that comes specifically from their head coach, blanking on the name,
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
I think it's so crazy. He was on, Dan Campbell was on that 0-16 team,
He
and
was
now he could potentially take the team to the Super Bowl.
absolutely.
I think that's crazy, man.
He's really turned this team around. And you got a lot of people who they've been counted out from Jared Goff,
Facts.
right? And you really turn this team around. You have the ball even being distributed evenly with Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. You have Jared Goff not throwing any picks. You have the defense playing great football. St. Brown and Laporta out there catching the ball as well. Um, and
They have
not
a
even to
great
fully talk about the
roster.
defense. You got Brian Branch out there. You got Aiden Hutchinson.
They
The
have a great
Lions,
roster. I'm not gonna lie to you.
absolutely. The Lions are definitely the team to beat in the NFC, despite what the 49ers look to be. I think the Lions are the better team. I think they have a better culture, while the 49ers are a pay to win team, per se.
Yeah, they are. Because there's a lot of money there. There's a
Absolutely.
lot of money there.
And speaking of these games, let's talk about it. Talk to me about the Lions versus 49ers. What are your predictions? What are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen here this weekend?
So we got a former number one overall pick versus Mr. Irrelevant. Um, I would love to see a Lions victory, but that's not gonna happen.
Really, you don't think
uh,
so?
no, it's not.
Mm,
Um, I think there is too much talent in San Fran to get to the NFC Championship again and then fold.
mm.
Especially because had it not been for an injury in the NFC Championship last year, you would have been there. So I feel like you have a lot to prove, and this is the time. This is the time to do it. You have respect to the Lions, but you have a bit of a layup here. So I would hope you get it done. I think Kyle Shan. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even if Kyle Shanahan gets a ring, my thoughts on him will not change.
Really?
So yeah. So I just hope he can fulfill whatever he needs to fulfill. You know what? Honestly, Kyle Shanahan and Mike McCarthy aren't that much different, if you ask me. But we'll talk about that the other
No,
day.
talk to me. What you mean? What do you mean by that?
They are very successful
Yeah.
up until a point,
Hmm.
and they never get past that point. And the only difference between Kyle Shanahan and Mike McCarthy is Mike McCarthy had Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl, whereas Kyle Shanahan lost one. So that's about it.
I think on their current teams, I think Kyle Shanahan is doing better though.
He just has a better team, period. But yeah,
So I have a different thought than you. I think the Lions are going to win this game. I think the 49ers, the talent is there, but they've just looked sleepy to me.
that's fair.
Squeaking through the divisional 24-21 against the Packers is unacceptable.
Mm.
The Packers definitely lost that game. They didn't win it. And the 49ers were able to get it by the skin of their teeth.
Okay, I'm with you.
And I think the way the Lions rally around Detroit rallies around the Lions, I just firmly believe that. Well, I wouldn't say firmly. I think the Lions are going to win this game. Like even talking about some of the things we were talking about, right?
Mm.
From the strong defense, right, to the offense that looks like it's here to play. And typically, from what I've seen, especially when it comes to the playoffs, a good run and a strong defense will take you far. And I think the Lions play harder than the 49ers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Don't get me wrong. 49ers do have CMC, Debo Samuels, and George Kittle, and a slew of players on defense. But I think they're counting up the money for fun. I don't think they're really here to play the way the
Oh.
Lions are here to play. The runs the Lions have been on is putting new life into their city. And
Hmm.
it definitely means more to Detroit than San Francisco. So I think you'll see that in the way that they play.
Hmm.
The same way on Christmas that the win meant more to the Ravens than it would to the 49ers, and the Ravens came in there and punched them in the teeth. And I've yet to see the 49ers have an answer for getting punched in the teeth. Keep in mind, last week was the first time Kyle Shanahan has ever won a game after trailing by 7. And he didn't win that game. The Packers lost.
Packers lost it. I agree.
Yeah. So if the Lions are able to get an early lead, I don't think they'll let go.
Hmm.
And I think the 49ers will be slow to start. Debo Samuels is cleared, but I don't think he's healthy.
No, not at all.
And that team has slowed down a bit, and the Lions defense is brutal. And we've seen that Brock Purdy, when he gets hit with pressure, he tends to crumble. And I think that's what we're going to see in this upcoming week.
I don't want to say I'd like to see it, but hey, if it happens, it happens, you know?
Yeah. I do think Kyle Shanahan is a great coach and he puts together a great offense, but I don't think their defense will hold up against the Lions' run.
Hey man, Kyle Shanahan, prove me wrong because you don't know me, but my listeners know how I feel about you.
Yeah,
So prove me wrong.
that's fair. All right, let's talk about America's game of the week. I,
I know.
I think this should have been flexed to a night game. Honestly, Chiefs
Yeah.
versus Ravens in the bank. Like I was talking to you about, that atmosphere is underrated. But talk to me. Who do you got?
I got, hey man, we taking a trip we go stop by the bank, get some money to go buy some groceries. We gonna take them groceries to the ghost kitchen. I got the Ravens, man. It's like everything in me just thinks that this is the year the Ravens hoist the Lombardi. And everything so far I've been not 100% right, but I've hit on a lot of things so far. So I think this is gonna be another one of those things. I think we gonna make a 5-star meal and serve him up from the ghost kitchen, and Lamar's gonna be in the Super Bowl. He wants it. He doesn't care about the MVP. He wants to hoist that Lombardi. And this is just another step on that. And this is just another step in that journey to hoisting the Lombardi.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Give me the Ravens by at least 7. At least 7.
Hmm.
Mark
I
Andrews
would
is
say,
healthy. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, Mark Andrews is healthy. Lamar, there's no rust. And I promise you, that game last week against the Texans, that was a rusty game. That was a rusty game. That wasn't his
Hmm.
best football. He's going to be putting the ball in the air, and he has Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. The last time you saw uh Lamar, where he had his full tight end set in 2019, his last MVP season, you saw what he was doing to the boys. He was doing it in the regular season, not the playoffs. But listen, this is a more refined Lamar. He
Yeah.
throws the ball more. He's more patient in the pocket, and his scrambling is smart. It's not touch and go. He's gonna stay in the pocket. He'll pick you apart. He might throw a deep ball to OBJ. He might hit a slant to Zay Flowers. He might hit a drag route to Rashad Bateman or even
Nelson Aguilar.
or Nelson Aguilar. Hey, And if you don't pay attention, he'll scramble and he might even trick you. You might think he's scrambling. And look, now he has Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews to hit over the middle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Both big targets.
Yeah. Some key injuries for the Chiefs as well. I think Isaiah Pacheco, he's going to play, but I think he's nursing some type of ailment.
Mm.
And Joe Tooney, lineman for the Chiefs, is ruled out. So it's gonna get dark. It might get dark. I don't know if it's going to. It might get dark.
And yes, I know that the Chiefs played on the road last week against the Bills, but the Chiefs own the Bills, respectfully. Just the way Native Americans used to hunt buffaloes. Like it's no different.
I was trying to figure out where you're going, but sorry.
Right. But the bank at home in the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes has never experienced anything like this in his life. And he knows that. He knows. The crowd in Baltimore is simply just different.
Yeah,
Simply different, man. And they're here to play and they're here to stay. Lamar
I
knows
think.
what this Super Bowl win would mean, and he knows that he needs to win this AFC championship. It's a must. Win
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Kansas City's hobbled. The wide receivers, Sans, Rasheed Rice, and Travis Kelsey are already you account for them folding, and now you got your real aggressive juggernaut running back Isaiah Pacheco, not so healthy as well. But the reality of the situation is, if we make it to the AFC Championship, probably not going to be that healthy. So it's not. I'm not surprised, but I would say even Travis Kelsey appears to be questionable. So yeah, there's a lot. Oh no, that's something else. Pardon me. There's a lot to just be on the lookout for. For the Ravens, I think Marlon Humphrey is still nursing some ailments, but I think he's going to play.
Mhm.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And when we look at the overall narrative, right? Um, and I'm gonna ask you. Actually, yeah, no. Actually, I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
What do you think each team winning the Super Bowl would mean? Start with the Chiefs.
All right. Um, Mahomes going back to back. I think he's already solidified in a lot of people's top fives. He'll be in mine. He'll be in mine. Top five best QBs ever. He'll be right there if he goes back to back. The gold jacket has been in the dry cleaners for the last 12 months. You might as well just go get that joint now if he wins this one. Um, you could argue this is a down year because I've been on the pod all year telling y'all, okay, y'all just chill on the Chiefs. I know they look bad, but just calm down, settle down. And they're exactly where I thought they would be at the start of the season. Unfortunately, I think the road ends here, no pun intended. But I still think if they're able to pull it off, hey man, it won't surprise me. But Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Thunder and Lightning. So
Would
they
that
got
officially make the Chiefs a dynasty, in your opinion?
yeah, 3 Super Bowls in 5 years, 4 years, 5 AFC championship appearances. Super
Six.
Bowl.
6 AFC.
He was a full-time starter in 26 years. Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're already knocking on the door of a dynasty. You lose your offensive coordinator in the Super Bowl the following year. That doesn't happen often. So, yeah, I mean, hey, now for Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? Last time y'all won the Super Bowl, it was off the back of, well, I know Joe Flacco won Super Bowl MVP, but the real testament was your defense. I think this time, if y'all get it done, that man Ocho, that man LJ. Action Jackson. Get ready to have some uncomfortable conversations, you naysayers. Get ready. Get ready.
Absolutely.
Two two MVPs and one ring in really 3 years when he's fully healthy. It's like, hey, and every time he gets to the playoffs, he is better and better and better. Have you realized that? So I think this will, if he gets it done, we'll be seeing a lot of this going in the future. This might be the new Brady Manning. I know y'all thought it was gonna be Mahomes and Josh Allen. I never did. I really think it's gonna be Mahomes and Lamar, and here we are.
Oh, let me add to that. Also, if Lamar wins the Super Bowl, and he'll most likely win Super Bowl MVP, it sends out a new message. Yes, Lamar wouldn't be the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, but he'd be the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl that doesn't fit into the archetype or the framework that the NFL has.
Right,
He was
right,
told from the beginning, you should be a wide receiver, you should be a running back, run in the combine. Let's see how fast you are.
right.
All right. And let's keep in mind this man had a Heisman, I think what, 1 to 2 years before he even entered the draft
Yeah, at Louisville.
at Louisville. And then when he enters the NFL, the naysayers always speak. They said, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. When he gets hurt, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. When he represents himself for his own contract, when he's using his mother as his agent, what are you doing? Things don't make sense. Lamar has stayed true to himself. He hasn't changed the way he's spoken. And Lamar winning doesn't just mean a lot for him, but it means a lot for everybody who he represents.
Right, right.
A new age of football will be ushered in if Lamar wins the Super Bowl. And the NFL will start looking a whole lot different. And I don't know if they're ready for that.
Hey man, the Inklings were there with Cam, and before Cam it was Vic. Before Vic was McNabb. So before McNabb, you have Randall Cunningham and others. So the Inklings have been there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're here. I think we're here, man.
Yeah. If Lamar wins, he's the people's champion.
That part.
We'll continue. Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just saying, I'm looking forward to it, man. Conference weekend, championship weekend, a lot of football. We're approaching the end. The spring football is around the corner. So looking forward to that.
Oh, talk to me about what this a Super Bowl win for the Lions or the 49ers would mean.
Oh, see that it's crazy. I don't even think the NFC's gonna win the Super Bowl. I'm sure the winner of the AFC Championship is pushing up the Lombardi, so I wasn't even thinking about that for a second. But Jared Goff making it to a second Super Bowl with two different teams. I think he wants to redeem himself because he played like dog water in that first Super Bowl, only scored 3 points. And Brock Purdy is back where he was last year. And barring an injury, he would have been in the Super Bowl last year. So if he's able to get it done, I mean, just add to the narrative, man. Last pick of the draft, man. Like I think it's crazy. You don't see this often. And yeah, we saw Brady, and it was kind of similar. You know what's ill? I just thought about this. So Tom Brady took over for an injured Drew Bledsoe, right? The Patriots got Jimmy Garoppolo to be the successor to Tom Brady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, Tom Brady's also from Cali. He grew up a 49ers fan. So now Jimmy G goes to San Fran, has enough success, makes a Super Bowl amongst, he was competent, couldn't stay healthy. He gets injured, and now Brock Purdy is the QB1 and and Jimmy Garoppolo might be a backup for the rest of his career. And now we're here. The parallels are crazy. Parallels are indeed crazy.
Absolutely.
But I think a ring for Brock Purdy. I like Brock Purdy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, off the field, I know I give him I give him a little bit of heat, but I did some research. He's a cool guy. I mess with Brock Purdy. Shout out.
You mess
But
with him as a person or as a football player?
as a person, as a football player, I mean, salute.
I mean, two
Um,
NFC championships in 2 years. It's got to stand for something.
he's very capable, but the team is great.
That's true.
So it's like
Do you
that's
think he would
tough.
be performing like this on a different team?
Absolutely. He will be expected to do more, and him doing more would lead to more mistakes.
Mm,
So as a result, he won't look as good. But I think he has all the capability to be a good QB.
okay, that's valid.
But yeah, Purdy gets a ring. The NFL script can't, finish the story, I guess. I spoke about Kansas City. We have a dynasty. The Lions. Shout out to my boy Golf. And yeah, that's about it.
Hmm, okay, all right. So now we're going to do a segment called Hot Takes, Cold Facts. I mean, as you guys already know, I'm the hot takes portion of this podcast, and Dan is the cold facts. He's the statistician. He comes with all the facts, and I just ask questions. But we're gonna do three each, and I got three hot takes for you, and I want to hear what you think, and then we'll talk about it, and then you'll do your three cold facts.
All right, shoot.
All right, Bill Belichick will not be a coach next season.
Yeah, I think he's taking a year off. So he wouldn't be coaching. I think he takes a year off and ends up in Dallas, maybe even Vegas. Man, no, they're like Antonio Pierce. So like Dallas for the Giants, or amongst others.
You think he'll just take the year off and do nothing?
Yeah, go fishing.
Go fishing. Why do you figure?
He's spoken for, and I'm not gonna lie to you. His resume without Brady is very ugly. So I think he's gonna ponder. Do I really need to, you know what I'm saying? Do I really gotta prove I can do this without Tom, or can I just shut up and just deal with the facts? Additionally, the Falcons ended up hiring Raheem Morris over Bill. I know there was a lot of talk that he was gonna get the Falcons job, and that didn't happen. So I mean, hey, maybe the league has soured on Bill.
Mm. I think another thing is when it comes to Bill Belichick, you need to let him run your whole franchise.
That too.
And a lot of people know they would, wherever he goes, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs.
Yeah,
And it's either his way or the highway.
as
He's
it should be.
he's 71 years old. You're not changing his mind. He probably eats the same thing for breakfast every day, same thing for lunch, and the same thing for dinner. And he takes his wife out twice a month to the same places.
That part. That part.
He's a very traditional guy, and he's not going to change the way he lives. The only thing is different city and probably different chain.
There you have it.
All right. My second hot take I have for you is the Ravens are about to go on a dynasty run.
I see it. I think we're here. This is the first domino. Y'all get this chip? Oh man. Oh man.
So what do you quantify as a dynasty? Because I quantify a dynasty as three.
Two chips in 3 years, or three chips in four.
Mm-hmm.
You have some MVP level talent on both sides of the ball. And I think y'all have that. And yeah, that's about it, really.
Okay. That's fair.
So you may not win it you should win it, but it's like even if you don't win it every year, if you're knocking on the door consistently,
Mm-hmm.
you're scratching the surface of a dynasty.
Mm-hmm. This is valid. All right. The third one I got for you is the Chargers will be in a conference championship in the next 3 seasons.
I love Jim Harbaugh. I don't see it happening.
Why,
That roster needs a lot of work.
why not?
So that roster needs a lot of work. I just told you. So
Like what way?
maybe um Quentin Johnston is trash. Keenan Allen is old. Gerald Everett is he's Gerald Everett. Austin Eckler is old. Isaiah Spiller is trash. Uh Rashawn Slater, good O lineman. On defense, Khalil Mack is old. Joey Bosa is solid. Derwin James can't stay healthy, and their corners suck except for Asante Samuel Jr. So they needed some work,
Mhm.
and you know I don't know who the new GM is, but hey, we'll see.
Okay. All right. And then which one do you think was the hottest take of these?
Probably the Chargers one.
All
Yeah.
right,
In the
bet.
next 3 seasons, I'll give them 6. I'll give y'all some time to actually come up with something.
Okay, okay. All right, bet. All right. Now then I'm pass it to you with your cold facts.
All right. So did you know Brock Purdy led the league in passer rating this year?
He did
Yeah,
through the whole
I
regular
think.
season.
Yeah, regular season. So across the he played all 17, but led the league in passer rating, and he set the franchise passing record for the 49ers. Mind you, this is the same 49ers who's had the likes of Joe Montana, Steve Young, Alex Smith, and Colin Kaepernick. And he's outthrown them in his first year as a full-time starter. He's outthrown them all in 1 year. So that's pretty crazy to me.
I'm a Brock Purdy believer, right? I was saying the whole season I believe in him. All right. I just don't believe in him over the Ravens. So,
Fair, fair, fair.
you know,
Um,
I knew he's been playing good ball. I didn't know it was that good. That's actually very surprising. Will it continue is it the same for the playoffs?
as far as what the passer rating,
Yeah.
I don't know if they have all the stats there yet because I haven't seen any, but I'm sure he's played. I mean, that Packers game was pretty solid,
Mhm.
so I'm sure he had a high passer rating be off the strength of that.
Yeah.
My second one with Streets of Sam Mars host this MVP trophy, which would make him a two-time MVP. This would make him the first man of color. Pardon me, Jim Brown was a running back, so the first black quarterback after Patrick Mahomes to win more than one MVP. So yes, the list includes Steve Young, Kurt Warner, Joe Montana, Pat Mahomes, Johnny U, Burt Favre, Jim Brown, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Peyton Manning all have 2 to 5 MVPs. So if Lamar gets his second one, he would be the one, two, three, four. He'll be tied for fourth most all time. So hey,
Who has the most MVPs all time?
Peyton Manning with 5.
Peyton Manning has 5 MVPs?
Yeah, man. You think his head shaped like a football for nothing? He eats, sleeps, breathes football.
What
Omaha.
three with the Colts and 2 with the Broncos?
Maybe 4 with the Colts and 1 with the Broncos. Let me verify. You know what's crazy? I was talking to one of my homies who covers Denver sports,
Yeah.
and like Peyton doesn't even identify with the Colts anymore because they did him so foul.
Wait, how did they do him?
So like he had that serious neck injury, right?
Yeah.
And the Colts sucked obviously, and
Yeah.
took Andrew Luck, and then they cut Peyton Manning.
Oh, they cut him?
Yeah,
To cut somebody who has won 4 MVPs for your team
and the ring.
and a ring,
And went to another one. He lost the second one, but he went to 2 Super Bowls.
that's actually ridiculous because why would you ever do that? He's spoken
Yeah,
for.
yeah, very, very.
So at
Jim
that time,
Irsay, Jim Irsay is sick.
yeah, that's very dumb. I don't know who decision what that was, but they should be fired.
Jim Irsay is sick. But yeah, they cut him. He signed with the Broncos 2 weeks later, and we saw what happened there.
So wait, what do you think, right, is worse? for the for the for the owner. Manning leaving, going to the Broncos and winning the ring, or Tom Brady leaving, going to Tampa and winning the ring?
That's a good question.
Sometimes you just,
Hmm. Hmm. I never thought about that.
somebody with the most MVPs and somebody with the most Super Bowls.
Hmm. I really never thought about that, Brian. You might have. Oh, all right. Usually, this is like the second week in a row you have me stunned. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'll just be asking them.
Hey, that's a good question. I really gotta think about that one. It would probably be Brady because he won more, so
Mm-hmm.
it hurt more. But still, dang, it's a good question, man.
I heard the second he won it, Robert Kraft called Bill Belichick. He said, "You told me he couldn't freaking play.
Yeah, I heard that too.
What the heck is wrong with you?"
I heard that. I heard that too. I heard they're working on the Patriot Dynasty documentary, so I'm
Oh,
looking
I'm gonna
forward to
definitely
that.
watch that. Oh man,
Absolutely.
yeah, man. From the murderers to killers to suiciders. Hey,
Well,
oh, too much.
I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm
Hey,
gonna
shout
leave
out.
that.
Oh no, not shout
No,
out. Hey,
no.
Watch the Aaron Hernandez doc if you haven't already.
If you ask me, it's a comedy, but that's my opinion.
Whoa, that when I was watching it, I was like, he did this. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, the irony behind it made me laugh. It's sick, and you know, I'm sorry that happened, but the irony in it, you kind of have to laugh. You gotta laugh to keep from, laugh to keep from crying sometimes.
Absolutely. All right, bet you got one more cold fact, can you?
Oh, let me see here. So, I mean, I only have like the statistic here, but I feel like being the number one overall pick versus being the number two overall pick, the number two overall pick should be like hitting a little bit more.
Really? Like what?
Yeah, because I mean, well, Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, that's a wash. But like, let's just look at this class, right? You got CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, and one made the playoffs, and one is picking first overall again. And the and mind you, they're not even picking first overall because they traded that pick to the Bears.
I
So
think it's true in the NBA also.
yeah, so it's like, oh, in the NBA for sure. I know we've been talking a lot about football, but in the NBA, I mean, Ben Simmons versus whoever went number two in that class. I can't think of it now, but was it Jalen Brown? I mean, Jalen Brown. And then you had, shout out to my guy, Markel Fultz, but I mean, Jason Tatum was definitely has definitely had a better career than you have so far. So it's like, it's tricky.
After Ben Simmons, it was Brandon Ingram,
Yeah, BI, solid, very solid.
then Jalen Brown.
Yeah.
Dragon Bender went number 4.
It, yeah.
Phoenix really be
Just
having some stinkers.
yeah, man. I mean, yeah.
Because after that, Chris Dunn, Buddy Hield, Jamal Murray, Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough, huh?
Who else is on here?
Yeah.
Pascal
Uh,
Siakam,
oh, it's a nice track class. We can
Deontay
talk. I
Murray.
mean, yeah, I know we've been talking a lot about football, but there's a lot going on in the NBA too now.
Talk to me. What's happening?
you know, Joel Embiid put a 70 piece on the Spurs, yeah.
Mm, I did hear about that. What was going on?
He
Why
hung 70.
was this like intentional?
I mean, nah, he just one of the best that I'm a cook, and he did just that. Like, it was one of those nights where everything was going in. Yeah, 70, 18, and 5. He
Hey,
took 40 shots, but still.
I think I read somewhere he was like, "Oh, if you guys don't need to get me the ball, but if I'm open, and I'm hot right now, feed me the ball, but let's work. Let's worry more about getting the ball around and winning this game." He's really
Yeah, because
a
in the
team player.
breaking news, Luka has 41 at halftime right now. Man, he's special. But back to Joel Embiid. Yeah, because Booker put up was it 70 or 71 a few years ago against Boston. They
It was also
lost.
yeah, it was also 70.
Or 70 and they lost.
Yeah,
But here, yeah, Joel Embiid coming off that MVP, and now he set the tone again. 70, 18, and 5. That's never happened before. It's the
yeah.
first time in NBA history.
Do you think that the way he's playing is indicative of him being a regular season merchant, or do you think this he's showing us some flashes for the playoffs?
Oh, you just opened the door I didn't want to open. But to answer your question, absolutely. Because you beat the Spurs, mind you. So it's like, okay, you welcome 1B to the league. Nice. But the Spurs are god awful.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to continue on this path in the postseason, oh, I'm sold. But yes, you are definitely a regular season merchant.
Mm.
Salute, because you still got to cook, and that you did. But I mean, you beat the Spurs, bro.
To me, KD's also a regular season merchant. I don't count those Warriors rings.
Oh, steamer, steamer. We got a steamer on our hands. Now, that's a hot take right there.
Yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, I don't agree with you, but I understand the sentiment.
He can't win with
Oh, go ahead.
he can't win without help.
I mean, who can really?
Leaving the team who just blew you out in the conference finals and joining the team that just blew you out. That's like
It's definitely a word I can't say right now.
that's
It's
that's
definitely
like
feline.
that's like your girl cheating on you and then you become best friends with a guy.
Woof. It's definitely
Like
feline.
like
How?
he was a really cool guy. I think I'd like to be his friend.
Hey, yo.
Like, bro, what happened to competition? And it
Yeah, I
definitely
can't.
shifted the meta in the league.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at the Suns right now. You got KD, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker on one team.
And now when you look at teams with a bunch of names, it doesn't move you. It's like let me
Oh yeah,
show me something.
yeah. You're numb to it at this point. But yeah, and in like the last 3 years, Kyrie had a 60 piece, Devin Booker has 70, B has 70, Cat has 62 in the same week. Karl-Anthony Towns has 62 points. He lost though, but like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I was hearing about this Karl-Anthony Towns game, and the biggest thing I was hearing was that he was telling players to feed him the ball and things of that nature, and that ultimately led to them losing because he was trying to beat out Joel Embiid because he had heard about him having
goofy,
that 70 piece. And his coach
Go,
called it the most unprofessional basketball he'd ever seen in his life.
goofy. Look at him. And
Karl-Anthony Towns
Karl-Anthony,
is a square. He's a square, bro.
yeah, like,
Square.
bro, he's had a 60 piece before.
Mhm.
So the fact that you're going band for band with the dude in a different game, foolishness.
Yeah. It's, it's,
Foolishness.
it's like those dudes who it's like you're ordering bottle service just because you saw somebody else order bottle service.
Right. Like, come on, yo, lock in and win the game.
Like act your age,
Hey man, right. I gotta commend him. Best big man shooter ever, according to him. So
according to him.
yeah, according to him. According to him.
Are you talking
I
about
know,
Karl-Anthony Towns?
yeah, I know, yeah. He thinks he's the best big man shooter
According
ever.
to
I
him,
know a guy named Dirk who would shoot that man out the gym.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is his ironically enough, he had a 60 piece in 2022 against the Spurs. They won that game. But yeah, it's talking about the Spurs and just getting housed. This is it's a common theme here. Um, but yeah, in recent memory, a lot of like high school like 60 used to be like untouchable. I've seen a good amount of 60 pieces. Kyrie had one. I think Luca had one. Dame had 70. Like it's a lot of shots you can put up nowadays.
What do you think is changing in the game? Why do you think this is happening more?
People forgot how to play defense.
Mm,
And heat checks are heat checks. They got hot takes. We got hot takes. They got heat checks.
mm.
So if I'm not missing, I'm getting the ball every single time.
That's valid. Mm,
It's like everything now is an all-star game, which brings me to these. We got our starting fives for the East and West. So at the guard position, I don't think he's going to be able to play, but he was voted in as a starter. You got Tyrese Halliburton, homecoming, because
mm,
it is in Indiana. And you got Dame Dollar at the two. You got Jason Tatum at the wing. You got the Greek freak Giannis in the front court, pairing with Joel Embiid. And then in the West, you got Shea Gilgeous. He's been going crazy this year.
mhm.
Paired up with the Luca. You got, I think this is LeBron's 21st straight All Star game. And then like KD's like 16 straight or something like that.
How many
Then
more
you
seasons before we see him play with his son?
got
Oh, that's not a great
at least two.
two. You think so? You don't think his son could go to the draft next year?
I don't think he'll. Well, I take that back. I think he's gonna enter the draft and then get drafted just because he's LeBron's son.
Oh
But
yeah,
I think, but I think if he stayed another year, he could potentially be
a lottery.
viewed as yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you got Shea, Luca, Braun, KD, and Joker. That's the starting five in the West.
Can you imagine like something somebody you created then playing with you in your career, your professional career? It's
Yeah,
like this is
this
like
has happened. Not in the
like
NBA though.
the father son playing together in basketball. It's never happened before.
Not in basketball, but in baseball, yeah.
Baseball, you can be 50 and play baseball. This is different. Oh, this is different. Like if we saw Jordan hoop with his son, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, I think his son would have needed to get better, but hey, again, it could have happened. But speaking of better, so back in not back in the day, but like initially, this was the original style, East versus West.
Mm.
Before a short time period, you had Team LeBron versus Team KD, and they were drafting. So which one do you think was like the better format?
I like East versus West.
Honestly, same. But I kind of still like the drafting aspect of it because you're building a team, and I know LeBron was like smoking KD in the draft, but like I just think it was like kind of dope. It was like it gave you an idea of like what if like Kyrie and LeBron teamed up again because Kyrie was in Brooklyn and LeBron was with the Lakers. And I think he drafted them a few times, and then another like major head scratcher was like LeBron and Giannis, things of that nature.
Mhm.
And it kind of set it, it kind of drops inklings to how you think teams are gonna like pair up in the future. I think Giannis drafted Dame when he was team captain, and now they're teammates in real life. So
Do you think the players be telling us something with these All-Star games? Is it
yeah,
foreshadowing?
yeah, absolutely,
Oh man, wow! Look at us. We played quite well together in this All-Star game. What if we actually played together?
yeah, sure enough. I remember the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl used to do this with they had Team Rice versus Team Sanders, Team Irvin versus Team Carter. But now I think they're also doing well. They don't even have a game no more. But so you know, I kind of like the drafting aspect of it. It was fly, but hey, still gonna be good. I think they had the contestants for the dunk contest. I don't have them in front of me, but hopefully they can bring it back because the dunk contest has been like the 3-point shootout is now like the new dunk contest nowadays. I'm more excited for that than the actual dunk contest. I don't know if the participants have been listed yet, but hopefully they can bring back the excitement.
No, absolutely. I know that the dunk contests that I used to really like were, bro, is his name Aaron Jones?
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon.
Yep.
Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. That was like prime dunk contest watching for me. I was
Oh
like
yeah.
going
Oh
back
yeah.
to back 50s, all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. That was electric.
absolutely.
It, they robbed my man Aaron Gordon. I'm sorry.
What do
Robbed
you
him twice. He should have won. He should have won one of them.
Aaron Gordon's won before, right?
No.
He never won
Exactly. Zach LaVine
with
won
the
the
with the
Zach
under the
LaVine.
legs thing.
Yeah, yeah. Game a second. This,
That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. But salute. Shout out to Zach LaVine. I think who won that year? I think G-Rod won the in 2022. But yeah, like nonetheless, I'm looking forward to it.
Mhm.
And then in the 3-point shootout, I don't know if they've announced any contestants yet, but I'm sure we'll see Steph. So be on the lookout. I'm sure he's gonna win again.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind. Oh, you know what? And as soon as I said this, I see an article. There may be a shootout between Sabrina Ionescu of the WNBA and Steph Curry at All Star Weekend. They might face off in a shootout.
Word.
Yeah,
Okay. Is I'm not familiar with Sabrina Ionescu. Can you fill me in?
I believe she plays for the New York Liberty, and I guess she has a true clip.
Oh, okay.
And let's see. Let me see. Went to Oregon. So yeah, she was definitely. I remember she did go to Oregon. She was pretty solid. Number one overall pick in 2020. Um, yeah, she all time leader in career triple doubles in the NCAA, and she won the WNBA 3-point shootout last year. So she definitely has a chopper on her. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I'm pretty sure the 3-point line in the WNBA may be a little shorter, though I could be wrong. But I'd still like to see it.
No, I'm definitely for it. I think it'll definitely bring some more eyes to the WNBA because I didn't even know who that was. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. And then speaking, and before we get out of here, we're just speaking about bringing more eyes. Are you familiar with Jeff Teague?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he is now the newest captain of the Big Three. So Ice Cube is bringing in some more talent. Jeff Teague is also a podcaster. His podcast called 520, pretty funny. So yeah, now we're gonna see Jeff Teague in the Big Three this upcoming season. I'm looking forward to that.
So wait, with if you're a team captain, do you get to like pick your team? Like, what does that mean?
Probably. I don't have too much details, but I just like the fact that there's some information. There's still some liveliness as far as the Big Three is concerned, because I'm sure many people didn't think it would have this much success to this point.
Mhm.
So still getting some level of relevance and bringing in former for, Jesse's a former NBA champion at that. He was on that Bucks team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he had solid career at Wake Forest as well. So just this is nice to see. And a lot of these players they may not have like that NBA motor, but they can still get you a bucket. So play half court, not too bad.
No, absolutely. I can definitely see it. And shout out Jeff Teague. I definitely, for the most part of my memory, I remember him from Atlanta. Am I
Yep.
Yeah, the Hawks. Yeah, but yeah, shout out him.
Yep.
All right, before we get up out here, you got anything? Anything else?
Oh yeah. Dawn Staley. Shout out to Coach Dawn Staley, University of South Carolina. Still kicking behind time and time again. They put on the absolute slugfest at LSU and got the W there. And just wanted to, shout out to the ladies, man. For real.
Absolutely. Shout out to the ladies and John Staley.
Yep.
But all right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of Fever Pitch Podcast. If you aren't already, please subscribe. We're on YouTube. We have visuals. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram as well. And we're on all Spotify listening podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. You can find us there. And yeah, if you want to be featured on the podcast, please let us know. We'd like to hear what you guys think, hear some of your hot takes and cold facts.
For sure.
But as always, it's been Brian.
And then.
Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the podcast, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
All right, now take care.